Welcome back to the Own Your Power Lifestyle Show. I'm Coach Simone Kelly, author, intuitive life coach, and Reiki master with Own Your Power Communications. We're your trusted guide to conscious living, intuitive wisdom, and personal growth. In this talk show today, we are going to be talking about how to break free from the collective depression. I know, what a topic. And it's so needed because there's a lot of things going on right now in the world, and we all need to be uplifted a little bit and come up with some solutions. I brought on two of my favorite people. My special guests are Ayanna Cabrera-Cook. Ayanna is the owner of Me Communications, a marketing and sales company, coaching company, and Sheila Hawkins, who is a personal productivity alchemist of the Third Eye Group. Both of these women are very good friends of mine, and they also whip me into shape, so I know they're going to help you as well. I really wanted to do this topic because we've been overwhelmed with a constant wave of troubling news lately, from raging wildfires in California to executive orders threatening to roll back civil rights, challenges to immigration policy, our freedom of speech is under fire, and the never-ending political debates online. And I don't want this to make this a whole debate show or a political show, but unfortunately, it's a part of what's happening, why a lot of people are stressed out. So, welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you.
So let me get your feedback on what's going on with you in your world related to these topics. Like, how are you feeling? What's your mood? Ayanna?
How am I feeling? Well, I have definitely shut off regular news. I don't imbibe. I don't ingest anything that's coming out live. I chose to protect my peace from November 6th. November 6th was a double duty day. No, but it was a double duty day. And when I went to bed on November the 5th at about 10:30, 11 o'clock, I was like, I'm not watching any more news. And I have not watched live news, especially now. If I'm scrolling on, IG or something and ABC pops up, I might watch a little bit there, but it's typically late. Like, I didn't know people passed away. I didn't know anything. And I am a news junkie. Right. Wake up to the news, go to bed to the news. I was so just, and for the record, just to be honest with you, I started protecting my peace probably around, this is 2023. Oh, okay. I stopped watching TV a lot during 2023. And then during this campaign season and stuff, I was still like, oh, it's too much, but definitely nothing since November 6th. So,
and what about you, Sheila?
For me, you talk about news, right? TV, news, all of that programming, I cut that out a long time ago. If I do watch the news, I watch it intentionally. I watch it with purpose. Like, okay, what are they saying? Because it is programming. And here lately, I've turned it on a little bit more, just locally, not the national news, because that's really crazy. But I've turned it on locally just to see what's going on. And I found that in a lot of cases, it's not being talked about. It's just not being talked about. So I've stuck to groups that I trust on Facebook. I think this was prior to the election. A friend that I met online started a group off of the usual platform. And, those of us who are in there, we're focused on the same thing. Like Ayanna mentioned, protecting our peace and sharing information, sharing news, and only sharing, things in a way that we're sharing things that are necessary.
Right.
Not anything that's going to, put us further over the edge. And just, again, like Ayanna said, making that space and that drawing those boundaries to protect my peace. And there have been a couple of times where I've had to tell my son, talk to the hand. I can't hear it right now. I want to hear it, but I think we have to be conscious of when we choose to hear or to take in information, because I don't want to hide myself from it, because it's real. It's what's going on. But at the same time, I'm trying to make sure I take care of myself.
Right. And it's funny because it's not just a depression. There's some people that are just straight up angry.
Yes.
And the energy is, and as you said, programming. The internet, they love us to fight and argue and complain and all that kind of stuff. And it's even prior to the election stuff, because I even remember Ayanna's been very good at protecting her peace, because I've been obsessed. I was obsessed with the Diddy stuff because I used to work in music, so I know a lot of the people that were getting arrested and stuff. It blew my mind. So I'd be like, Ayanna, you ain't hear about it? She's like, nope, I don't want to know. I don't want. times that we were like sending each other updates, but after a while it became like overwhelming, and you start to look at the world so differently when you look at the news all day long, right? Or look at even gossip sites, because even there was one lady I was following, and I just stopped watching it because I was like, why is she getting high off of bad news, And then I was like, let me stop looking at it too, because I'm not any better, right? So some interesting facts I found: that exposure to negative news has been shown to adversely affect mental health in the United States. A survey by Grow Therapy found that 99.6% of therapists believe that consuming news can negatively impact mental well-being. And that's the Mental Health of America. That's where the facts came from. And I could just remember as a kid growing up, my mother was every morning news, night news, and everything that was on the news was going to happen to me. Like, like, find yourself home. They raped somebody in Boston. I'm like, that's Boston, Mom. I'm like, but, and you could really, go ahead, Ayanna.
Okay, so with this here, I used to be a silo person, right? I would be able to live in silos in my brain. I would compartmentalize things, and life happened, during COVID 2021. And I haven't been able to put my head back in silos where I could handle all of the news that I used to watch. And it's all emotional. It's all like, blah. So because I couldn't put it back in the space that it was, I had to take it out. And so, like, I'm an elected official in my city in the school board. So I'm supposed to know what's going on.
Yeah.
If it's not if I can't read it, I'm not going to know. Like, I have to look for it through a trusted source, of course, or the data for school boards and things like that. So, like, literally, I went from overconsumption, because for years I'd be like, Simone, you didn't know this happened? No, I don't watch TV. I don't do that. I don't do this. Now it's the other way around, because I'm like, I can't. And it's a lot, like, just with it's different facets because of what I'm elected to do. I'm a parent as well. I'm a part of the 92%. I'm very political. Right. I'm getting ready to go to Austin to fight for public education. So I have to be very specific on what I read so that I know that it's factual and it's not biased, and that it's not going to affect me, because I wear it now. Until I'm able to put it back in a special place of siloism, I have to protect it and keep it out.
Little fun fact, Ayanna was my high school president. Political. She was political back then. We still call her pres. When we have almost a family reunion, we have school reunions. And one other fact I wanted to add: the American Psychological Association has observed a rise in news-related stress and media saturation overload, suggesting that setting media consumption boundaries can help mitigate these effects. So that's another thing. I think if you look 10 years ago, we didn't have as many social media outlets. We didn't have, because even when you try to avoid TV or news, you still have that friend sending you like, girl, did you look at that? Yeah. Hey, look, check that. Or you see memes and things. And me, I thought I was protecting myself by watching Comedy Central or watching like Stephen Colbert. I'm like, I'll get my news that way because it's funny. But now it's like, it's not even funny no more. It's overwhelming and it's stressful. And I found myself very emotional. I was telling Sheila this idea for the show came up because I was driving and I let somebody in front of me. And then he waved to me and was like, thank you. And I was like, I wish more people could be high. And I literally started crying in the car. And I'm not like boohooing, but I was emotional for whatever reason. And I realized there's so much of humanity that's missing. So much of us caring for each other that's missing.
Long way. And we're missing that as a society. Be kind. Yes. I mean, just kindness is so valuable and underrated. Like, people don't understand a wave. I wave every time someone lets me. Yeah. Every time, because I'm like, absolutely, they could not, and I'd be stuck over here having to go.
Right. Or if somebody does it for me, I'm always so like grateful. Like there's so many nice people still in the world,
and they're not waving the other finger, right? They're not waving that.
So we have a lot of tips we're going to share, and I wanted you guys to share your feedback on the tips on how people can help, relieve some of this depression and anxiety that's going on, and even anger. But I wanted to share what some people in the community, Own Your Power community, said. So Dara said, Dara is in New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, she said, I try, not always with success, LOL, to focus on what I can control. So that's what's in my calendar, spending time with my family and friends and making sure I have things to look forward to. Now that's good, right? Because we can't control everything.
Good point.
Another one said, this is Rena Strauss. She said, I read a recent study that said 20 minutes of dancing the music you love every day was just as effective or more effective than antidepressants. More people should be aware of this. I was like, oh, I think that's why I like looking at animal memes all day. But then again, those make me cry too, though. I'll start crying if I see like a rescue story. I'm like, oh my God, people are so kind.
Yeah, that's a different mood.
But like looking at funny things, I enjoy. So that helps me. All right, so let's get into these tips so that we can share. So the first one I'll share is to limit news intake, which obviously has been the going thing since we've been talking. Set boundaries on how often you consume news and choose reputable sources that focus on solutions rather than fear-driven narratives. Consider scheduling specific times for news updates instead of doom scrolling throughout the day.
Yes.
Funny little fun fact. I don't know how true it is to this day, but I know my British friend Sid, give her a shout out. She used to always tell me to watch BBC News versus CNN or the regular news because they have more positive news or more, general, not just all depressing news all the time, and sometimes even some good news. So so next one, do you want to read that? Oh wait, let me add. So do you guys have a time frame on when you look at the news? I think you kind of mentioned that early, or you don't look at it at all because you have to know something what's going on a little bit.
I tend to set particular times. Like I have that one group that I mentioned, and that's typically where I go first, but not first thing in the morning. Just no. I have to set, my tone for the day. So that starts with meditation, with focusing on me, and then I go there because I trust the women in that group.
Okay.
And then from there, I might come across stuff, or I might decide, you know what, not today, just not today. And then choose a time the next day or 2 days later to just, to go find out, okay, what did I miss?
I know some people have headlines that they just breeze through on their phone or whatever, but sometimes you still end up doom scrolling. Ayanna, what about you?
Well, as I said, I really lean away from it. Recently, I have gotten up in the morning, driven my kids to school, and on my phone, my TV is on there, right? And I'll turn on Good Morning America because Good Morning America is squished with news and like good news. So sometimes it'll be a story about something that I might have saw. But I read. I'll go to a website that I'll type in like the topic that I want to read about, and I'll go read an article. I cannot deal with, because the way we grew up and the way news is now, it's like their opinions are in it, or you can hear the tone in which it's given. And I don't really want to hear your tone. I got my own tone. I don't need yours. And after a certain age, it's like I can control. As somebody said earlier, I can control what I watch and what I put in my head. And that's so important, because before, when I would just have the TV on while I'm working from home and I could hear the morning news, lunchtime news, evening news, I'd hear it all. And I'm like, I wasn't controlling what was coming in. Now I actually control what I'm hearing. And what I read. Reading it doesn't affect me the same way as hearing it does. Like it's a different, it's just different. And even if it comes across my screen, and it's like from local news, I won't even watch the video. I'll go read the article, because when you click on it, like if you go to their website, you can read the article. I'll just read what's there. I won't even listen to it, just because how you're addicted to something. I don't want to be drawn back in to what I was accustomed to, like up until 2023. So it's very important to just make sure for me that it's not even a schedule. And if I don't know about it and someone says something, Google is free. I will go read about it. I'll find out about it. I'll be an expert on it in no time. See some opinions, ask a question. I'm good to go. But unnecessary facts, I don't need in my head.
Right. Can you share the next point about social media?
All right. Manage social media exposure. Curate your social media feeds by unfollowing accounts that trigger stress or negativity. Follow pages that inspire, educate, and uplift you, and take breaks when social media feels overwhelming.
That reminds me of Sheila. Sheila's like, you didn't block so-and-so? And I'm like, I didn't know we were supposed to block. Because when all that TikTok thing happened, and then all of a sudden everybody's homies with, who, the orange man, and then all of a sudden I'm getting fed to follow J.D. Vance. I'm like, suggestions? How's that a suggestion of mine?
Popping up on your screen. I don't block.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
My new trigger.
You gotta block stuff. Yeah. I don't know. It's just a lot, but yeah, that's very helpful to do that. Also, unfortunately, I don't listen to it enough, but there are alerts you can put on your phone for time. You know, you can even get apps to say, "Hey, your screen time is up, baby." Like I
Right.
got one for Instagram. I know that's my addiction. It'll be like, "All right, you already used up your time. Do you want to still go?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
You want to know something I do to get off of social media? There's this game that I downloaded. It's called Zen something, and it's supposed to put you in a special place. It's a word game, and and it was therapy because my thumb wouldn't bend. Real talk. And so me playing this game, it's called Zen World, and they play really comfortable music, and it's real like and I'm on level like. Wait, I'm pulling it up so you guys will understand. I'm on level 2,218. It's called.
Okay.
And I just,
what is it,
and
like
I'm like,
crossword puzzles? Like, what is it?
there's word puzzles, like you're using this thing, and I will wait. I'm like, oh my God, I got stuff to do. Let me get one more. Okay, I'm gonna stop at 2,220. Okay, no, and then he's like, 15 minutes later, oh, let me finish. So that has definitely been a piece for me. Like even from social media break, like that is my social media break. I should be doing other stuff, but it does manage my anxiety because I gotta just focus on this. Like I don't want to do anything else. And so yeah, social media, even and let's say this, not just political, right? Like let's say you broke up with somebody and you've typed something in, and then all of a sudden on your social media you start getting all of these things that have to do with breakups, or you Google a word and then all these
listening.
You know the word I'm talking about, right?
Oh, I already know. That's a popular one with a lot of my clients too. Narcissists.
And baby, oh, I had to protect I mean, once I learned it and understood it, I was like, oh, I couldn't breathe.
Dating a narcissist? How to talk to a narcissist? Like,
how you know you did it? Did they say this, and this, and then you start looking around talking about, did you live in my house? How do I? So I
right.
So you have to protect yourself from all of that.
Right. Sheila, we need you to share the next one. This is my favorite. One of my favorite things to do.
Yes, this is a really good one. So journal your feelings. Writing down your thoughts and emotions can help process anxiety, release pent-up feelings, and gain clarity. Try gratitude journaling to shift your focus to positive aspects of your life. And that one is like, I think that even if you don't say follow any kind of a particular regimen with your journaling, even if you're just doing it to get it, or to get what you're feeling out of your head, out of your heart, out of your system, that is a really good start. And then there are all different kinds of journalism, not journalism, journaling too, that I think in this case can help us a lot. When we talk about, journaling, like, okay, so how do I do that? And again, you can just, it can just be as simple as writing, but like even just stream of consciousness, like that alone will help clear the clutter. It can also start to foster some creativity, and it will reduce your stress. And, you can set 5-minute, 10-minute timer and just write and don't stop until that timer goes off. And then don't go back and edit it, and don't judge what you wrote either, right? And use it to, release those emotions. That's a really good way of venting, getting stuff out on paper, because you might not even know what's there, and it just comes with the pen, right? The stroke of a pen. And I think we need to do that because we deal with so much that sometimes it's over here. It's just over here, so we don't know what's what. And sometimes it helps to just reflect, like, okay, what was my day like today? Right. And, was there something specific, like, something specific that happened, a particular emotion, something that made you feel a particular way, decisions or choices that you had to make, like all those things are part of what stirs up emotions in us. We forget, I think, sometimes, especially going back to what Ayanna said earlier about how kindness is just, it's like it's not there. It's taken for granted. And people operate without it now, sad to say. And I really saw a shift in that after COVID. COVID happened, and, people got what I call COVID crazy. You know, they stopped. It's like they turned off their emotions. They shut down, and it was just they went into this mode where they were all about themselves. Not that they weren't like that before, you know, then some of them, but now you really see a lot of that. But I think because of that, we can go through our day without really paying attention to what's going on in our head and what's going on in our heart. And then you end up having like these outbursts of anger, and you wonder, okay, where did that come from? Because you haven't gotten stuff out of your system, right?
Or crying when somebody lets you in front of them.
Yes, right?
The world is so beautiful. Well, it's funny that you started off with what was it? Gratitude, because I don't even leave my bed until I do a gratitude meditation. Like that's one of the first things I do in the morning. So that leads me to the next thing that we can do to help us get out of this funk.
Can I say something else?
Oh, sure.
Okay, so journaling. So full transparency. I don't like to write. My handwriting has been sloppy since I was a little kid. They tell me that all the time. So I have so much apprehension of just picking up. And then when my thumb messed up, I couldn't actually hold a pen. So I know it's crazy, right? So I journaled after my dad passed away. It was probably the first time I was consistently journaling, like for 6 months, but I was typing it all in. And I can go back. I have it on another phone, and I read it. But then I also started doing video journals, because the emotions of everything that would happen would be while I'm driving, right? And I mean, I have been like boo-hoo crying and talking about whatever it is while I'm driving. I don't know how I was able to see, but to your point of letting it out, you got to let it out. Whatever your thing is, like I just suggest to people, because if you are like me and just writing is just like, I'm a creative, but using my hand to put stuff down, I'll type it, but so whatever means you have to get it out is important. Like Simone has thousands of journals. I have thousands of empty journals. Right? I can give you some. Like, would you like a new one?
I need to burn some of mine.
Like, right. So I just anyone who's listening, the key thing, the takeaway to me would be to get it out.
Right.
You know, just get it out, and and do it regularly. Yeah.
I would say, speaking of burning, you don't want anybody to read, and if it's like something related to anger or some kind of emotional thing, I would say write it. Don't write it in your journal. Write it on like a loose leaf paper. Whoever pissed you off or whatever's making you upset, and then burn it. But do it in the same place, in the sink, please. Like.
Don't say, when I burn my house down. No, we don't.
I do retreats, women's retreats, that's their favorite thing to do. They're like, our favorite part was when we burn the letters. Like, people love it because it's a big release. You know what I mean? All right. So going back to the meditation, because we are getting tight on time here. Meditation, I would like to add, definitely try to do that every morning. A lot of people go, I don't know how to meditate. There's so many guided meditations now. There's no excuse. Like you can go on YouTube, you can go on, Calm, download one of those apps. That can help you. People think when you meditate, your brain has to be totally silent, which is next to impossible for most people. So don't think that that's the issue. Like you can just try with 5 minutes. But what I like to do is tell people to meditate, then journal. Because then after you already like downloaded things, and you can like write it out, whatever's on your mind, you're kind of connected. So let me read what it says. Practice meditation and mindfulness. Regular meditation can calm the nervous system, enhance emotional resilience, and provide a sense of inner peace amidst external chaos. Even a few minutes a day can help you regain perspective. And add some deep breathing to that as well. Sheila, this is your world. You like talking about this. So share the next bullet point. Sheila be ready to start let me quiet. Let me let you talk.
That's right. I'm a rebel with a cause, engaging in activism mindfully. So channel frustration into meaningful action by supporting causes that align with your values. Collaborating with like-minded individuals can foster a sense of purpose and hope, but remember to prioritize your mental well-being and avoid the burnout. And I think this is where I see people getting, as I like to say, caught up, right? Because there is the anger, there is the frustration, and you want to do something, but you have to make sure that, thinking about what you're doing before you engage in doing it. So besides turning off the news, look at like what your values are and what your priorities are. Maybe there's something that is in danger of being taken away from you as far as your rights go, because that's what's really up, right? That's what we're really in danger of here, besides all the other things. But if there's something that's really important to you, or maybe like I know somebody who's, you know, some of the things that are on the table, it's important to him because of his children. And so their lives could really be at stake because of it. And so that's where his focus is at. And I think too, we need to set some boundaries. Just like in our everyday lives, we have to set boundaries. But what we have to remember about boundaries is that we don't, when we set boundaries, they aren't for other people to hold. We expect and we want other people to respect them, but that's not going to happen. We have to be the ones to not only create them and put them in place, but to make sure we hold them, because if we don't hold them, they're not boundaries.
Right.
It's not a bound. You can set it all day, every day. But if you're not holding it, it's not a boundary. So we have to do things like, again, you know, limiting the news, watching what you consume every day, being conscious of that. And like we talked about, picking designated times for doing what you want to do. You know, maybe you want to lay off for a couple of weeks. Okay, fine. So, you know, do that. And then I think it's smart to look at what's going on a local level and start there. Like, you know, who's organizing? Go to what I call ready-made solutions, you know, organizations who like, this is their purpose anyway. Now, you know, they're gearing up. And honestly, many of them have been gearing up for at least a year now for this very thing that we're dealing with. A lot of them have been gearing up, so they're ready to roll. So, you know, check locally, check on a state level, check on a federal level, and then focus where you think you can make an impact. You know, it might be engaging with friends and family and colleagues, or, you know, it might be even using your professional skills to support people with, you know, like picking an organization and choosing to use your graphic design expertise or your writing or your organizing experience. You know, like whatever talents you have, you know, use those and be sure to educate yourself and be conscious about that.
At the end of the day, it sounds like you're telling people that we have choices, we have options, not to be helpless, or not to act like the world is going to end, because that's actually what they want us to feel.
It is. It really is. And
divide, you know?
It is, right? Like the conversation we had, I don't know when it was because we talk all the time, but the conversation we had about how, you know, that fire hose effect, that was done on purpose.
Right.
It was done intentionally to instill fear and to immobilize people.
Right.
And we have to remember that there is nobody coming to save us. We are the ones we have been waiting for.
Right.
Right. There is no like, okay, well, you know, what can we do? You know, who's going to lead? No, you are the leader. You are the leader. And I think a lot of times people feel like we need permission for that. You don't need permission to stand up and say what you feel. You don't need permission to allow your voice to be heard. You don't need permission to do something about the garbage that is happening right now. You don't need anybody's permission for that.
I think we find our leader. No, I'm kidding.
I want to say something about the activism before I jump into the next one.
Come closer to the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I want to say something about. Is that better? I want to say something
way better.
The activism, because you said, you know, become engaged locally. Local is where it all happens. Right? Even if it's, I'm going to make sure I vote and I take everyone with me in every election. Right. Why? Because the reason why this person that we are not saying the name has power is because we did not vote locally over time. Why are we nervous in our neighborhoods? Guess what? Pothole politics matters more to me. And that's what I'm a part of, meaning your car ran into a pothole. Are you calling DC? No, you're calling your city hall. Right? That affects your life every day. Right. Be engaged in that. Be active in that. Be an activist for your city, for your town, for your school district, because that will give you some peace. We're talking about depression. Find a place to be. Go volunteer at a school. Read to some kids. There's so many avenues that could affect your day-to-day right now, where the stuff that's happening that is out of our control at this point because we did not vote correctly, right? Get your power back.
I'm going to wrap up because it's not, we kind of covered the last bullet point, which is connect with supportive communities. And I think all of us have our own communities. I know Sheila has hers, Onya Power has, and Ayanna has her communities. But everybody listening, find your community, find your tribe where you can help one another, support your friends, your family, especially if you have friends that have businesses, support their business. Okay? Because that's where you hit them where they hurts, in the pockets. So we got to support one another like we did back in the day, you know? Sharing experiences and seeking encouragement from others can provide comfort and remind you that you're not alone, because you're not. Because I thought I was going crazy at one point. She was like, no, it's everybody's holding all these. I was like, yeah, because I don't know why I'm so emotional. I'm like, maybe it's hormones. I don't know. But apparently I'm not alone. Ayanna's like, that too. But, and then the last thing, obviously we all need to do is, and Own Your Power is very big on this, is taking me time breaks, right? Prioritizing yourself. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to go take a walk in nature, listen to music. Like Rena said, go dance. You know, take time to read. Disconnect. You just got to disconnect from some of the stuff. Right. It will make you very overwhelmed and make you angry and make you snap one day. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Your for me time could just be a prayer, meditation, prayer, whatever you do. I do both.
Yes.
I literally pray and I meditate. It works.
Well, I tell people prayer is talking to God, meditation is listening. So do what you got to do. Well, ladies, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your feedback and your expertise. Can you share with us how we can reach you? Sheila, you go first.
You can find me online at thirdeyegroup.net, and I am all over social media, so you can find me there. And if you have trouble finding me, I'm connected to Simone on just about every one of those platforms.
Yes, and I just joined. You want to add that new? What's that new platform?
Oh, Blue Sky.
Like the new Twitter.
Blue Sky too.
Yeah, I just joined it. So what's your handle on there?
Oh,
it's Sheila Hawkins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, real simple. SHEILA.
Okay.
Awesome. You can find me on all things as Ayanna Cabrera-Cook. Just Google me and find me as well.
Google me, baby.
Got receipts. No, seriously. Just and I'm happy to just give you some techniques on how to just become more engaged in your community as well.
Wonderful. And everyone knows, or hopefully you know, that I am the founder and owner of Own Your Power Communications, and we are focused on intuitive life coaching, Reiki, and we also have various programs to help you really tap into your intuition and even work on your manifestation as much as possible, because we all are magical. We need to tap into it. Find out more about what I do by going to ownyourpower.biz and join the mailing list. You can listen to any of our past shows by going to the link in our show notes. Looking forward to seeing you again, everyone. And thanks again, ladies, for being here. Remember, anything you want is attainable. Own your power.